Hello, I'm Jerry Ford, and we got Jeremy Ford over here, and we're going to do the answer part to the Q&A video. Excuse me. So we're going to try to do it from oldest to newest. Jeremy's going to look on his phone and get read them off from there, and we will do the best we can with answering them. And third, what are you laughing about? So if anybody has taken a question off, then we're not gonna answer it. One has been taken off. Didn't know what to say to it anyway, so I'm just gonna have to skip that one. Okay, so
Alright, you ready?
I think so.
Alright. We're gonna go from what was the oldest one, first one put on here, and go to the newest. First one we got is from the random blind guy.
It's Chris.
When y'all hear tornado sirens over there, do y'all get excited? Or do you take cover? Or do you take cover type of thing?
When we hear tornado sirens, we have a party. We get excited. We light the tiki torches outside, and we just get ready. No, we. I get stressed a little bit because these tornadoes around here, they don't mess around. They're out hunting, and they tear stuff up, and lives are taken too. So yeah, we gotta take it seriously. My wife, she is watching the news and just making sure that we have gotten all the updates that we need. Sometimes she checks out the other channels too, and sees, looks at the radar and seeing where everything's going on. So she's on the ball with that. If I know it's coming, I'm going to make sure stuff in my yard is secure, because if we don't get actual tornadoes through here, we get high winds and they throw stuff all over the place, chairs and stuff. So the tornadoes that we've had that were threatened to come close to us, I think that's happened maybe once since we've been in our new house, and it was such almost a sure thing that it was going to get close enough that we got prepared. We got the transistor radio. We got
We've got like our plan of a safest spot we can find and stuff, and had a mattress prepared to put on top of us in case the ceiling caves in or whatever. But we have a plan in place for whatever situation may come.
And what we come up with is the best place for us is our walk-in closet in the master bedroom. It's just built really good right there in that area.
It's one of the few places away from windows too.
Right. So there's a place in there we can sit underneath a big shelf that is screwed very tightly to the wall, to studs, and we get the mattress and we'll slide it up in front of us and just keep us right there secure enough. We take a couple waters in there just in case. You never know, if worst case scenario, if the ceiling does cave in somehow and we're trapped, we'll have some bottles of water in there. We got our phones with us. We got the transistor radio, whatever. So yeah, we do take it seriously, but we make sure that it's coming our way before we get too crazy. But yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, next question from Burger Myers. What kind of video games does Jeremy play? Is the first part of it. What kind of video games do I play? I play a lot of video games.
He plays these games called like My Little Pony, Care Bears videos, and
First of all, this question is dragging on me. It's not even start. No. I play a lot of different games. Right now, I'm playing a lot of Rocket League. I've been playing that for a few years now. I think I've got 3,200 hours logged into the game or so. But besides that, I'll play a lot of different single player games. I finally got a PS5, so I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima recently. Yeah, I play a lot of different stuff, a lot of different role-playing games and stuff like that.
he plays this stuff with his cousin. It's some kind of scary type stuff that that it just freaks him out so much. He can't sleep. He can't sleep. He's scared. I can hear him in there screaming. Like he turns around and the ghost is right there. You know.
You haven't said a true thing in a while. It's all lies.
No, it's not.
Man, it's true. We play scary games sometimes,
Yeah.
and ghost games like Phasmophobia and stuff like that. But,
That's called.
That's one of the ones we play. It's not super scary in a sense, but it's kind of the jump scare type of game.
His cousin's wife. In the video, she stays in the van or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a ghost hunting game where there's a van you can go into that has like cameras and stuff. She usually likes to stay in there and watch the cameras while we go in there and risk our lives.
Yeah. They get scared, you know. The girls, they don't want to be in that situation where it's like they're right behind you.
That's about what I'm playing right now, but I don't play much of anything. I'm not locked down to a certain type of game, I don't think.
Him and his cousin also have played Mech Warrior, which is a game I was kind of into. I'm having a little trouble because the what is it, the graphics or whatever, they've changed it, so it's different now. The modability or what am I trying to say? The navigational type stuff is different, and it's more difficult for me to drive the mechs. So
I think a big thing is he's used to playing the older Mech Warrior games, which I think were more built for. We always use the joystick to play, and the new ones I think they've more adjusted to the way most people play would be on a mouse and keyboard. So they didn't really fine-tune the joystick as much, I don't think. I think that's a big part of what's different with the joystick now.
That could have been what happened. But I mean, if I would put some time into it, I'd be able to get it down, because it does work with the joystick, but I just have a little trouble controlling it. But I mean, I had trouble controlling it when I originally played in the 90s when it was out. Was it Mech Warrior 3 Vengeance or something like that?
I can't remember if it was 3 or 4.
Oh, it might have been 4.
I think it was 4.
That does sound familiar. But I mean, it's all how much time you put into it and effort. But maybe I'll get more into it later on or something. All right, what's next?
Next part of this question is also what's your guys' favorite anime so far? All the ones that you've watched.
Oh man. Well, right now we're watching God of High School, and it's cool. It's cool. It's entertaining. I'm getting into it. What are we on? The 3rd episode?
Yeah, we just watched the 3rd episode.
Have you seen it before me? So what we're seeing right now, you've already seen?
I've seen the whole season.
Okay. But yeah, I'm getting into that. I mean, I've seen some Jeremy's introduced me to some really good ones. One that always comes to mind and that I had fun watching was One Punch Man. It was very, very entertaining. They only did what, 1 season or 2 seasons?
2 seasons.
And don't know if they're gonna do a 3rd season or not.
They should, I think. I think there's more of the comic or the manga that's still story there. So there should be going eventually with more of it.
Okay. I even ordered a One Punch Man shirt. It was too small for me, so I gave it to Jeremy. But that's how much I got into it. But,
there's a lot of good ones. One Punch Man definitely up there. Demon Slayer is really good. Which I can't remember if I've shown you any of that or not.
a little bit. We didn't.
It's a little bit more darker toned, a little more serious. It's got some comedic stuff in there, but Sword Art Online was really good.
Sword Art, yeah.
I like the theme of that. There's Dragon Ball Z, all the Dragon Ball stuff. I haven't watched that in years, but it's got some good stuff in there.
I wouldn't mind watching it again. Jeremy and I watched it originally back in the late 90s, I think, when Dragon Ball Z came out. And then somehow, some way, we don't know if we caught up with Dragon Ball Z and moved to Dragon Ball when Goku and all of them were younger. We watched a bunch of those. Those were entertaining too. But shoot, it's been so long since I've seen those. I would get into watching them again. Yeah, my nephews, his cousins, had a crap load of Dragon Ball Z videos, and we borrowed them and watched all that they had. But there's a whole lot more that they did after we stopped watching them. But Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball's good.
Well, we just caught up with Time of Reincarnated into a Slime. That's really good.
Yeah,
it's got a cool theme to it. That's kind of, I say it's kind of unique. There's some similar stuff, but it is really cool in the sense that he keeps getting stronger and stronger over time, and making himself a whole army in this community that he's in. That's pretty crazy. I don't know if I could really pick one, because a lot of different ones they like for different reasons. You know?
Right.
But I don't know, One Punch Man is probably what I have to say. Just the pure insanity.
When Jeremy saw it, he said, "Dad, there's an anime that I think you're really gonna like."
I knew instantly that you would like it.
Yeah. So I was like, "Okay, well, let's check it out." Oh yeah, I was hooked. First episode, I was hooked. So it's Saitama? Saitama. Yeah, it's good. How his facial expression, look like Charlie Brown. There's just no, there's nothing to him but
just a round potato head.
Yeah. Let's see. So that was all the questions for Burger Myers. Okay.
So next we got Jeffrey Marsh asking if Jeremy likes beer, and if so, what is his favorite beer? I cannot say that I've gotten into beer. I just can't really get past the alcohol taste that's in there. It's too bitter for me, I think.
I think it's probably more, not necessarily the alcohol part, because a lot of these that I've let him try are low alcohol, like this one here. This Hamm's is a, I think it's a 5%, 4.5%, I can't remember, it's on here somewhere. I think it's like the bitter malts in there, because it's not really the alcohol that you're tasting so much. I think it's it's the like the hops and the malts and stuff like that. It's really just, I don't think it's to your taste.
Yeah.
But he's
I'm not accustomed to what I'm tasting really.
right.
Besides the bitterness in general.
But the flavored malt beverages that I've had him try in the past that are kind of on the sweeter side, he's like those, but not to the point where he's gonna go get one occasionally. But yeah, he's just not really into the alcoholic beverages.
It's hard Mountain Dew things are okay.
Yeah, and we still have another one of those to review, so we'll see what he thinks about that one.
The other part of the question, and Jerry, what is your go-to beer?
My go-to beer? Well, I go to many beers. Because Hamm's is good. This could easily be one of my go-to beers, and it just has a really good taste. This is on the American adjunct type beers. I don't know if this one's actually an adjunct beer, but it's got barley malts in it, grain and hops. So just these kind of beers would probably be Hamm's, PBR. But that I do like my Mexican beers. Very accustomed to those. If I gotta pick one go-to beer in the Mexican style, I'd probably say Modelo Familiar, probably. But that's really difficult because I have so many that I like. On the American adjunct or the style, probably Hamm's would probably be the one. But I like, and that's another. I like Coors Banquet a lot too. But man, it's really hard for me to put my finger on one. But yeah, so we'll just go with that.
All right, that's all of Jeffrey Marsh's question. Now we got Sycamore Hank with, let's see, first question he's got in here. He mentioned that we live in the Tulsa area. Do we ever go to any Tulsa Oilers or Tulsa Drillers games?
I would definitely not call myself a sports fan. Probably the closest I've ever gotten into sports was when my brother Wayne got me into baseball cards back in the 90s. When he got me into baseball cards, then I wanted to watch baseball because I was getting into these sports cards, baseball cards, basketball cards, but mostly for the baseball cards. He said, and like pick a person that you want to be your favorite player. And I said, well, who in here is considered a big player and doing well right now? He said, probably Mark McGwire. I said, okay, well, I'll choose him. So then I kind of started following him, watching, the Cardinals when they play. I was really impressed with him. I started collecting all his cards. We started buying packs. My wife got into it. She was buying packs of them. She was out of control. I had to take her to some kind of a special place where they could help her get over it. Yeah. she says, whatever. She was out of control.
Have you ever been to a Drillers game?
I've never been to a Drillers game.
I feel like I have.
Have you? Well, you might have went with your Uncle Dewey or something, or maybe one of your buddies or something.
That sounds familiar to going to at least one.
But no, it'd probably be fun and interesting to go, as long as I have beer. And I think that wouldn't be any problem. Just the social interaction with whoever I'm with, and then just watching the game. I'm sure I probably enjoy it. It's just not something that I look forward to do.
Okay. Next one. We got Carl, and a long last name I cannot pronounce.
Carl
Bruton
Deluski.
Bruton
Man.
See, hypothetically speaking, let's say you had access to YouTube growing up in your era. Do you feel you would have been more success with it as opposed to now?
Back in the 70s when I was growing up, or when I was a young man, and if YouTube came about, it would have been a fun, exciting type of thing to discover.
This is also assuming that the technological era that it is now was back then. Because a big part of it is
That's true.
the introduction of smartphones and
That's true.
computers in general. I mean, I know computers were probably going back then, but not as big a commodity.
Right.
So that kind of depends on the success there.
Yeah, you got to take a lot of things into consideration. Well, let's just say the technology of computers and smartphones and that kind of stuff was back in the 70s, and with what I was into back then, would I enjoy putting the content at that time on a channel? Probably. I mean, back then I was really into, probably more into music than I am now, because I was just young, and I didn't do hardly anything but listen to music a lot of times. I was really big into wildlife, into insects. I was catching bugs, watching them, ants. I was into fish and aquariums a lot. The guy I hung out with, that was, my friend, he probably would have liked it too, being on the channel and stuff. But yeah, I probably. Well, how's the question go again? Would I be liking it more back then than now?
Do you feel that you'd have more success with it as opposed to now?
Well, I mean, I was drinking beer at a young age, but I wasn't old enough to buy it, so I wouldn't be able to really buy it to review. My channel wouldn't be Jerry Ford, the beer review guy. I don't think it couldn't be. I only did it because originally I was planning on just reviewing beer. But so I don't know what it would have been back then. It's an interesting question, because you don't think about that kind of stuff. But it'd be a good book to write, or a movie. But
alright. See, we got.
There's another question for Carl, and just gonna acknowledge it. He wanted to know our opinions on gun control, because it's such a touchy subject right now, and in the political part, we're probably going to have to nix that question. So apologize about that. But thanks for asking, in case we were wanting to give you an opinion about it.
We got Kim's Inspired Life.
Kim.
She gave us a list.
Kim's crazy.
Starting off with the first one. Where are you going on vacation?
Where are we going on vacation? Well, we just got done with vacation. What, last week? So
You did.
I did. Yeah, I just took my vacation. I didn't go nowhere. I always try to pursue outside projects when I take my vacation. It's usually in the springtime, and the rain and stuff. It messes up my plans almost every time. Because I like to try to get my projects done in early to mid springtime, before it gets too hot, before the mosquitoes start invading. But it doesn't usually happen that way. So now we're here, we're getting ready to go into summer, and it's hot. It's like, what'd you say, honey? The heat index was 104 today?
Yeah.
Heat index 104 here today. And Jeremy and I were outside for a few hours cutting trees that fell over and limbs and all kinds of stuff, and it was so hot. But yeah, my vacation, we don't really go hardly anywhere anymore for vacation when we have vacation. Our circumstances right now are just not, we're just not able to. So we just have to get out of what we can, just hang out and be together and just watch stuff here at the house and do games and stuff like that, and just enjoy the vacation that way best we can. But
All right. Next question from Kim. How many states in the U.S. have you been to?
That's a good. Have I been to?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. Jeremy, you go first.
I've been to a few. Whenever I was in high school with the marching band, we traveled around a little bit. One of the biggest ones, I'd say, probably DC. Did a parade there. Been to St. Louis a few times. Went to Nashville.
I forgot about that.
I think that was my second to last year, I think.
What's that? 3, 4? Nashville 4?
Yeah. Let's see. Been to Colorado a few times.
I think you've been to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Been to Arkansas.
Some of the family reunions we've had.
Trying to think.
You've been to South Carolina?
Mm.
You didn't go there?
Mm.
You were too little, I guess, when we were going there.
Yeah. If I did, I was old enough to remember.
Yeah. Ohio? Yeah.
Of course. Whatever states we drove through to get there.
Yeah.
If those count. I think those are the distinctive ones I can remember.
Well, I was born in Iowa. My folks moved around a lot when I was a kid. My dad was always pursuing that perfect job. You know, he'd hear from family members that somebody was hiring, paying good. So he'd load us up and we'd go on the chances he could get a good job there. There was a lot of times that was the reason why we moved. He loved to travel. He's in his 80s now. Can't travel like that anymore. Loved being on the road, seeing different things. That was just like a passion of his to travel. Loved it. As a kid, I liked it too. It was a fun adventure. Did I pay for it later? Yeah, I did, because my education sucked. Like I had already been held back 2 years when I was younger, because I had problems with learning, like a learning disability. So I'd already had troubles with that. So every new school I went to, that feeling that you're kind of nervous of a new school, new people, new teachers, kids, environment, trying to learn my way around, that kind of stuff. I was always scared as a kid to do that, and I had to go through it a lot. And trying to get back into learning stuff was hard for me. So my education really suffered, but it was fun. Hey, let's get back to the question. So I was born in Iowa. I lived in Arkansas. I lived in South Carolina. I lived in Colorado. I had lived in Oregon. I had been to Wyoming. It's right next to Colorado. So when I worked at this music store, we did deliveries all around Colorado and some surrounding, mostly Wyoming, because it's right there. People were coming from Wyoming to the store and order a piano, want a piano delivered or whatever. So Wyoming, been to Ohio also, been to Texas. I think that's it. In Oklahoma. But and then, like Jeremy said, all the states we drove through to get to other states.
Mm-hmm.
We'd stop there, get gas.
Mm-hmm.
So been to, yeah.
You've been to California, haven't you?
I've been to California. Wow, did I forget to write that one down here? Oh my gosh. Been to California with an aching in my heart. Yeah, California. I don't know why I forgot about that. But yeah, so how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, and out of the 9, let's see. Arkansas, Colorado, and Oregon. Out of the 9, I lived in 5 of those states.
All right. Let's see, the third part of our questions. Where's your favorite place to vacation?
Where's your favorite place to vacation? Out of all those states? I guess it would have to be, because you have to have a favorite. You have to have been to one to have a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Remember when I was young, we went to. Yeah, where we went for vacation, that was our favorite.
Oh, a vacation place that we.
Where would you like to go on vacation?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, man, California was nice. Man, when we went there to visit my aunt.
I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there?
Still young.
Oh, you may not even been born yet.
I was not even born.
Okay. Well, let's just do mine first, then we'll do Jeremy's. California, when we went there, it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. They had a. What did we go there when Mom and Dad that lived there?
Yeah.
Okay. The house that they had a pool, a big in-ground, wasn't it? Yeah, in-ground pool, and we spent a lot of time in that pool. We went to Disney World or Disneyland? Disneyland that when we was there. We went to some kind of a trams or something.
Yeah.
The trams that, huh?
In the Palm Springs area.
Palm Springs area, yeah, they had these trams. Just traveling around in there, dude, just a beautiful place to see. So I don't know. Let's see. I mean, South Carolina. When we didn't live there, they have neat places in Charleston, but can't really say that. My favorite. Colorado's nice to go to. It's cold. Estes Park is pretty. There's a lot of places in Colorado to go see, but I'm gonna say California. That was just really nice and interesting, and the atmosphere was cool. So for me, California.
One that really sticks out to me. I've been on a few vacations. I've been to Colorado a few times. It's beautiful there. Love the mountain scenery and stuff that's around. One that really sticks out to me, when I was younger, I went to Branson with a couple of my cousins.
Oh yeah.
To Silver Dollar City.
Oh my gosh.
It was the first time I rode on roller coasters, and that was a blast. Feeling the adrenaline rush for the first time was pretty incredible. So I think that's one that probably sticks out most of all the vacations I've been on.
Probably part of the highlight of that vacation was when they was on this roller coaster, and there was a certain place that there was a camera set up. I'd take a picture of each person, and I don't know. You guys knew it was there, or something?
Yeah, we knew it was somewhere. So basically, what the guys did, I didn't, but they would just let gravity take over their face. They just kind of let their faces do what it's gonna do, and created the most ugliest faces you've ever seen. And everybody else was like trying to make a happy face, but they were just
Yeah.
just looking like dead bodies up there.
Oh my gosh.
Ruined everybody's pictures around us.
the people that developed that picture back there,
They were dying.
they were laughing at it too. Oh my gosh. You got a copy of that, didn't you?
I got it somewhere.
Yeah. Oh man. It was so funny. Whew.
Oh man.
Every time we'd look at it, we'd all start laughing. So that was fun.
Fourth part of Kim's questions. Why did you start your YouTube channel?
Why not?
Why'd you do it?
Why wouldn't I?
Why are you putting everybody through this?
Why did I start it? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I started it because I enjoy the interaction with people, and I knew that's what it involved. That was one of the reasons. There's many of the reasons, but also just the fact that I was going to be reviewing something that I enjoy doing, which is drinking beer. And I was going to get to try a lot of different ones that I had never tried before. And being a reviewer, that gives you the freedom to do that. So I was looking forward to that a lot. And I went in head first. Right when I started, back then, it was 2016. The Pick 6 was available almost everywhere. And the varieties of stuff that was available, craft beers had been out already for a little while. They were everywhere. I'd never had a craft beer before. I didn't even hardly really know they existed, because before I started reviewing, when I go into a liquor store, I look for my basics, a Labatt's or a St. Pauli Girl, just my regulars is what I would get. So I didn't even look at the other ones. It's kind of strange, but that's kind of how I did it. But yeah, the interaction with people, the getting to try different beers. Then as I went along, I thought, you know what, this would be cool to get to share this with Jeremy too. Him get to have this father and son kind of interaction on video. It's going to be, unless YouTube gets attacked and it goes down, channel, the whole thing goes down and all of our videos are gone forever. It's going to be there forever, so that, even after I'm gone and Jeremy's gone, and it's still going to be floating around there, people are still going to see it. So it's kind of it's just a neat thing to be able to share this with Jeremy. And just getting to meet new people over in YouTube is fun. I've gotten to meet people from all over the world on my channel. Not hand to hand, no, through comments and stuff. It's been just a really cool privilege and very interesting. I like talking to people. That's probably why. I didn't know nothing about YouTube in this way. I never thought about doing it until this guy I worked with said, "Hey Jerry, you should do beer reviews," because I had kind of reviewed his home brews, and I said, "I'll just record." He says, "You want to try my home brews and see what you think?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll record myself trying them, and then that way I'll show you the video, and you can see my opinion." He's like, "Well, that's like doing a beer review." I was like, I do a what? A beer what? What? A beer review. Haven't you ever seen them on YouTube? No. I mean, no. No, I don't look for that kind of stuff when I'm looking at YouTube. He said, "You ought to look it up. There's hundreds of them." I said, "Okay." So I started checking into it, and wow, there's a whole bunch of these things on here, and this looks like fun. I think I will do this. Jeremy, can you help me set this up? He says, "If I must." So he got me all set up with it. Channel name, got my icon that I used back then. For a while, he was helping. He was recording me. He was holding it. So a lot of their old reviews was kind of shaky, Heard a noise back there. It's either a cat or a zombie. But that's why. I mean, those are the reasons why.
Last part of Cam's question. What was your very first job?
Who, me?
I've only had one, so probably you.
Oh, my very first official job was washing dishes at an Elks Lodge. And this was back in 82, 83, maybe, somewhere around there. I had just quit school. I quit school when I turned 16. That's another story. But when I did, my dad says, "You need to go to work then if you're going to quit school." I said, "Okay." He says, "I'll talk to the boss at the Elks Lodge." My dad worked there. He was a custodian there. And he said, "I'll talk to the manager and see if you can get hired on there." I said, "Okay." So he talked to the boss, and he says, "Yeah, we could use Jerry. Actually, I just had to get rid of a guy or something, so he can start whenever." And I was like, "Great, $2.85 an hour." Back then, that wasn't too bad. I mean, it was on the low side, but still $2.85 an hour for my first job wasn't too bad. It was money. So I worked at the Elks Lodge. Back then, at least at the Elks Lodge, there was not a machine. I was the machine. I had to wash dishes by hand. I had 3 sinks, 3 big tub sinks. One's to wash, one's to rinse, and the next one is to sanitize. You had to have a little bit of bleach in the last one for sanitization. So I'd wash, put it in this sink, it'd get rinsed, put it in the sanitized one. Sometimes on the weekends I'd have a helper, and he would, wash, hand it to him, he'd rinse everything, and then at the end we'd rack it, dry it if I needed to. But I worked there for I think a couple of years, maybe something like that, and during that tenure, we probably went through 2 or 3 other helpers, dishwasher helpers for me. We probably went through 3 of them. One of them was a friend of mine that I was in school with, had been in school with. He ruined his own situation there, so that's another story. So he got fired. So he was gone. Had an older lady that worked with me for a while. She thought that she was my boss, and she treated me like crap. I was 16 years old, and I was a polite kid. I didn't want to talk back to her, to an older lady, so she really verbally abused me so bad, and I told my dad about it. He told the boss about it. The boss got rid of her.
They need all those details.
So anyway, that was my first job, washing dishes out the Elks Lodge.
Alright. We got next Joshua Morrison.
Joshua Morrison.
What's your favorite macro or domestic beer?
Macro, domestic beers, if I remember correctly. I don't use those terms. Not really macro, but I think they're just like these. I think they're just like basic, regular brewery beers, not craft beers. They're just like these. So, my favorite, you say?
Yes.
Okay. So probably just Hams is a really good one. Some have been discontinued, like Red Dog, and just like regular Michelob. I'm still confused about that. So Red Dog was one of my go-to beers back in the early to mid 90s. But Hams has become like, well, my brother Wayne and I used to get Hams a lot back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I really come accustomed to this, and it's hard to find. There's only one liquor store that I know of that sells it, and it's a little far to go. I've been trying to get my local liquor stores to start stocking this, so on this account, probably Hams.
Alright, how about your favorite craft beer?
My favorite craft beer? That's a very, very hard question. Because almost to have a favorite, it almost needs to be one that you drink like a lot of. And being a reviewer, I don't really have like a go-to craft beer that I buy just to enjoy, like every week or something like that. And it's hard to put my finger on one that I've had so much that I've had and liked so much that I ended up having to buy it again. So craft beer wise, I've had some really, really nice stouts that were very impressive, but I can't remember which ones they were. So for the craft beer, I really can't really, the names of them, like even the ones that I really, really liked, it's not there. That information's gone. It's been replaced with other information. It's the way my mind works. As new information comes in, old information gets erased, unfortunately.
What beer or food product have you wanted to review but haven't got a chance to yet?
Is this Joshua Morrison?
Mm-hmm. Still Joshua Morrison.
What have I wanted to review but haven't got the opportunity to do it yet? All right. Foods and beverages?
Mm-hmm. Beer or food product?
Beer or food products. Well, Red Dog would have been a fun one to review since that was one of my favorites back in the 90s, but early 90s, or actually late 80s, early 90s. I think it's discontinued now. There is some Mexican beers I'd like to review, but they don't come into the States as far as I know. There's a Tecate Diablo Chelada that I would like to review, but I don't see it here in the States, and I don't hear that it's available in the States. Any other beverages? There's a lot of malt liquors out there, but Oklahoma only has so many of them, and I can only find just regular ones that I've already reviewed. even some of the ones that I've really liked, like St. Ides malt liquor, I can't find it here. It was here. I found it at one liquor store and only one liquor store. Got it, reviewed it, and then it disappeared forever. So that one's gone. But there's other malt liquors out there that I've heard of that other states get that I can't remember right now what they are. A lot of the ones are like no longer, like crap, what was it called? Shoot, can't remember. Foods. I can't put my finger on different food products that I can't get a hold of. Probably if I try hard enough, some of those I can order online from Amazon or something. But unfortunately, they want you to buy a whole case of something. Not just, you can't buy just single, let's say for example, like a certain candy bar. Then you got to buy a whole case of them. They're not going to sell you just one little thing like that. But yeah, that's the best answer I can give you.
All right.
Is that all of Joshua's?
All Josh's.
Okay.
The next one, we got a pretty crazy one from Adam Perzanowski. This is for both of us. If you had to have one last meal, what would it consist of? Appetizer, main course, and dessert. The whole shebang.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on death row. Appetizer, which is kind of like little dumplings or some kind of a little type of a.
Any type of things you order before your dinner, you know, like at restaurants.
Right. Like potato wedges or blooming onion.
Yeah.
That you get at Outback.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are really good. It's really something I haven't really thought about. It says. Let's just say in the appetizer part, might just ask for that blooming onion. I've only had it like maybe twice in my life, if that. And the time that I've had it, I think it was just at Outback. And it was really good. I really enjoyed that. So that for the appetizer. What about you?
Appetizers. I don't know. I already got my main course and dessert, but I don't usually get appetizers, so it's hard to imagine possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Have you had the blooming onion?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe just like some shrimp. Just a little shrimp plate. I'm a big seafood person.
Yeah,
so
you do like shrimp a
it's
lot.
gonna be my go-to for sure.
That would probably be considered. I mean, depending on how it's plated,
Mm-hmm.
a good appetizer, just like a little fruit, a little
skewer. Maybe.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Skewer or shrimp.
yeah, a little
Okay.
shrimp appetizer.
Something
Okay.
new.
And then what's the main course?
Main course.
So we're talking about restaurant type food, aren't we? Not like at home type stuff.
It's your last meal.
It's my last meal?
You can have a main course of whatever you want.
Okay. I'd probably like some of my wife's Spanish rice because I enjoy it so much. So if we're going home food, that's probably what I would choose that way.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking restaurant, maybe some. Yeah, my wife says probably a burger. I'm a burger guy. Man, even in the past, anytime we'd gone to a restaurant, a burger is what you know, I'd order. We're going to a nice steak restaurant.
Mm,
What, honey?
that's all
I know, that's all I get. We're getting to a nice. Well, she'd get on to me. We're at a nice steak restaurant. And you're gonna get a hamburger? What is wrong with you?
Bacon cheeseburger.
I can have a steak inside my burger.
Steak burger. Yeah.
A steak burger.
That exists.
I dislike trying every restaurant's burger and just kind of, you know, it's like a new burger adventure to me to try them. And then dessert?
Let me get my main course.
No, you're not important. Go ahead.
Give me all the seafood.
Give you all the seafood.
Lobster, fish, catfish. I love catfish. Can't think of any other seafood off the top of my head, but anything seafood would probably be fine with me.
Mm-hmm. I remember his late aunt was gonna take him out for his birthday, and when she'd do that, she'd take us all, you know, my wife and I and him, and he requested Red Lobster, and I was like, yes, that sounds awesome, you know. So
Crab legs, lobster,
yeah.
and
there you go.
all that stuff. It's good stuff.
It is good. Rich, kind of rich, that meat.
Yeah, for sure. Dessert.
Dessert. Phew. Man, there's so many. My wife just got through making 7-layer bars. Y'all are like, what in the world is that? Well, it'd be hard for me to describe it to you right now, but let me tell you, it's good stuff. It has butterscotch chips in it.
Butterscotch chips.
Has
Chocolate chips.
Chocolate chips. Graham cracker crust.
There's coconut.
Coconut.
Pecans.
Eagle brand milk. Pecans. And you bake it, and it's awesome. It's a little rich. You can't hardly eat more than one piece, but wait an hour, and then get another, because you'd probably be ready for another one in an hour. And it's probably really good with something like hot drinks, like a coffee. This would be good with. But yeah, I'm gonna say my wife's 7-layer bars.
So yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, what's your
Cheesecake.
cheesecake? Cheesecake is
Love
good.
Cheesecake.
Yeah.
Peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter cheesecake.
Oh my gosh.
Mom
That
made
makes
for
me. Yeah, your mom's made that for you, hadn't she?
That's some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Was that Adam Perzanowski's?
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
Oh, you have another question?
yeah, it's mixed in here. So while we're eating this food, right?
Okay.
If we had to eat it with a historical figure
Oh,
that's no longer alive,
that's no
who
longer.
would it be?
That's no longer alive. A historical figure. I mean, it can be. It can be anybody, like singers or actors that passed away. Is that considered historical? Or are we talking about
Definition?
Benjamin Franklin and Abe Lincoln and all them people?
Depending on his definition of historical figure, I guess. It could.
Tell us, Adam.
Yeah. Probably just somebody that's famous. Would probably
Some
be
famous.
fine.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably.
That would be much easier to answer too.
Yeah. Man. Let me think a minute. Let me think just a minute. Shoot. I've had a lot of people that I've admired throughout my life that were famous that passed away. Man. And we can eat what? The dessert with them?
Waiting the whole course with
Eating the whole course with them. We're eating dinner with this person and get to talk to them and stuff. Shoot. man, I'm gonna probably say somebody and then like, oh crap, I could have said this person. Well, I mean, I've been in the martial arts like almost all my life. I grew up watching Bruce Lee movies, and then when Brandon got to the age he started doing movies, Brandon Lee, I started getting into him. So when Brandon Lee passed away, that kind of hit me pretty hard because I was really getting into his movies, and he could have done so much more, you know. So how about father and son with father and son? Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee with Jeremy and I, we eat our dinner together. I could kind of talk with those guys, spar with them, you know.
Probably a bad idea.
It could be a bad idea. They could accidentally hurt me or something, but it'd be fun anyway. I got punched in the face by Bruce Lee. It was awesome. My nose is crooked, but it's awesome. Okay, so how about you, Jeremy?
I can't really think historically wise. My brain goes to more recent people that I've liked that's passed away. One being Paul Walker.
Oh man, yeah, that's good.
I've seen interviews with him. He seems like a really cool dude outside of the acting part of it. Chadwick Boseman plays Black Panther. He seems like a really genuine.
Yeah, died.
Dude,
these guys died way too soon.
Young, yeah.
Way too young. Yeah.
Yeah, had a whole franchise ahead of him that just got taken, unfortunately, from him. Those are two that came to mind pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Probably stick with those.
Okay.
Not necessarily historical, but famous people that have died with that.
What's in there? Chadwick Boseman?
Chadwick Boseman.
And Paul Walker. Those two dudes at the table with you, eating dinner. Wow. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
That'd be something.
Man. Okay.
There's also a third part.
Are we still on
We're
Adam
still on
Personalski?
Adam Personalski.
Okay.
So we're eating this food with these famous people.
Okay.
Where in the world are we eating that at?
Oh my goodness. Where are we eating this in the world? Man, there's some places I would really love to go. Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Ireland, Scotland. The beautiful countries like that. Brazil looks beautiful. Man, there's so many pretty places. Canada is really pretty too. But I'm going to say a place that my wife and I had always wanted to go to, if we was ever able to go to another country, would probably be Ireland. Don't you agree, Annie?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Where would we want to go to in the world to eat dinner with the famous person that had passed away, was our question. I'm thinking Ireland would be nice. So I'll just stick with Ireland. How about you?
One place that I think would be cool is just at the top of Machu Picchu.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I just looked up an image real quick. I mean, you see this view.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if this is gonna.
Yeah, they can see it pretty well.
Climb up there, just got an incredible view. It's like that. I mean, the Scotland and Ireland are beautiful countries
Mm-hmm.
to visit.
Oh.
Would be incredible.
Man, some of the places, when we used to watch a Survivor, man, some of the countries or those islands or whatever that they'd have that at were just, the water was just beautiful.
All right. We got next. Jay Edwards.
Jay Edwards.
Jay Edwards. He's got a few questions for us.
Okay.
What are your favorite and least favorite things about being a painter?
My favorite and least favorite things about being a painter. Let's see. My favorite thing about being a painter is that it is a job that you can you are doing like a big scale of a place. Let's just say a classroom or within a house. You're painting it, you're changing the whole scheme of the house. The walls, the ceiling, the trim, that's a big part of the living space you're living in. And you are totally beautifying it, to a different level for somebody or for yourself. It gives you a personal satisfaction that you can look back at and say, I did this. And whether it be for just me and my family, we can appreciate it. Or if I'm up, back when I did side work, they could look at it and the customer would be very happy. And that's what I wanted to do, was satisfy them too, to do what they wanted me to do. And when they got holes in the wall, I fix it, and then paint it, and they can't hardly notice it. So just doing good work with painting and having that personal satisfaction of that it's very nice looking now. I like that part. The worst part about it, I've had some situations with side work. Huh?
Strain on your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work involved with painting. Now, when I worked for some property management, apartment complex, and I was a painter. That's hard. That's hard work. It's a high demand. They want you done fast. They want you done quick. Get out. So I'm carrying up paint sprayer, all my equipment up 3 flights of stairs. Yeah, that was messing me up pretty good. So the hard, laborious part of painting would probably be the least favorite part of painting for me. If I could have like a team of young men and women to haul up my stuff to where I'm working, that'd be awesome. But I didn't never had that situation, so that'd probably be my worst part. Okay.
What hobbies do you guys have outside of work besides doing YouTube videos?
Mine would be easy.
Video games.
Vi-
Mine's easy too.
Video games is his hobby.
Yep.
That's probably the main thing right now. What you're into?
Besides like watching TV and movies.
Yeah. My hobby besides YouTubing, I can't really put my finger on one because there's lots of stuff that I like to do, but probably one of the most recent things that I really enjoy doing is playing Mario with my wife and Jeremy. That's fun. Do I get irritated when I'm getting my butt kicked totally really really badly? Yeah, I do. When things don't work out for me, when on my turn, do I get upset? Yeah, a little bit.
This is Mario Party, by the way.
Mario Party.
Right.
Yeah. They're gonna know what we're talking about when you just say Mario Party?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. That part of that Mario one.
Yeah.
So it's not a party sometimes. It's a battle.
This is a guy that's confused on why I get upset at video games. And I watch him get upset at this video game. Now you know.
Yeah. Now you know. And my wife and I would be in there watching TV and stuff, and we hear this noise.
It's not like that.
I'm like, what was that? My wife would go down there and, just see, because I'm scared to go down there when I hear that. I'd send her down there and to see what's going on. And she's like, what was that noise? And I don't see what he's doing. He's probably shaking his head because he's mad at himself for banging his mouse down or something, or punching his screen.
Punching my screen.
I don't know.
I haven't done that yet.
You haven't done that yet. You better not do it. I mean, you paid for it, so punch it, I guess, if you want to, but...
That's true.
But yeah, playing Mario with the wife and Jeremy, and there's other stuff that I would like to do too that I enjoy doing, but just can't find opportunities to do it so much. It's like drawing. I like drawing. Am I a professional? No, not in the least. But it's kind of fun to create things with the pencil, draw. Just being outside, working outside, yard type of making. When my wife and I have come to the conclusion or the plan to make something like a rock garden and stuff, I enjoy doing that. That's fun. But yeah, that's probably about it for me right now. Reading. I like reading. And I do that mostly at nighttime when I'm getting ready to go to bed, but reading is fun for me. Is that it?
Still got a few more pieces.
To Jay's.
Jay Edwards.
Okay.
What would you guys consider to be your dream cars?
Oh, man. That's a good question. Well, I tell you, for me, I have owned 2 Oldsmobiles in my life, and I love them both. I dated my wife in both of them. I can't remember the years so much. I think one was a 72, 71, 72. The other one was like a 73, 74. One was a Cutlass Salon Oldsmobile, and the other was a Cutlass Supreme. And I loved them cars. But it's not one of those that is my dream car. It's an Olds 442 would be considered my dream car to have. But I'd take a Camaro, a 69 Camaro, 67,
67.
Either one.
Yeah. My car influence comes a little bit from him. 67 Camaro definitely being up there. Corvette Stingray, that would be cool. If I want to go bigger, the Lamborghini Aventador.
Sports cars?
Yeah.
Sports cars.
Bugatti Veyron, stuff like that, crazy expensive stuff. Those would be cool for sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Is that all Jay's?
Finally, there's one question on here.
One more for Jay?
And finally, what is your favorite meal to cook for yourself?
My favorite meal to cook for myself? Let's say I'm gonna cook for myself. I can grill burgers. I can grill some burgers. So that's easy enough for me to do. I can cook an awesome PBJ.
I'm pretty handy with a microwave.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Handy with the microwave. Okay. Is that all of Jay's?
That's all that Jay's got for us.
All right. Who next?
We got Nathan Cooper. His first question is, why did you name your son Jeremy?
Why did we name our son Jeremy? Well, my wife pretty much and I agreed that we wanted to name him something sort of like Jerry, but we didn't want another Jerry, like a Jerry Jr. But a Jeremy, now that sounds like the right name for him. So that's what we went with. That's why we named him. Thought it was going to be a good name to use.
His next question, does your wife like beer?
Does my wife like beer? She does not. She totally contests it. No. No, she does not like it at all. She likes mixed. She doesn't drink like alcoholic beverages so much these days, but she used to like whiskey sours, stuff like that. Maybe a screwdriver, but no, not beer.
As next question, have you ever considered starting your own painting company?
No, never thought about starting up my own. My brother actually started up a Fort and Sons type of a company. It didn't last very long at all. It was an idea of theirs. I wouldn't be able to organize or do anything like that for myself in that way. But no, I have never really thought about it for myself.
Next question, what do Jeremy and your wife do for work, and do they enjoy it?
What does Jeremy and my wife do for work?
I work for an electronic retail store chain. I work in the warehouse, move appliances, fulfill online orders and stuff like that. Do I enjoy it? It's okay.
It's your first job.
It is my first job.
Yeah.
I've made quite a few friends there, so that definitely helps the work environment. Work with a good group of guys. I move TVs, move appliances, so some heavy lifting a little bit, but it's okay.
He lost a lot of weight when he started working there. He had a lot of weight in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Still had baby fat on him, but man, when he started working there, he started falling off. It was
His biggest drop was like 25 to 30 pounds, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
He's a good worker. He steady gets after it, and his assistant manager really appreciates him probably the most, and tells him occasionally that he's doing a good job, and everybody depends on him when he's there, so yeah, he's got a good work ethic, and yeah. Was that all Nathan's?
Not quite. Have you and Jeremy considered Twitch streaming? I know you both enjoy video games. I would totally watch your content.
I don't know much about that. Jeremy actually, I think didn't you get me like a Twitch account one time, or was it Twitch account? No?
No.
Probably Instagram or something.
It was through YouTube live streaming. That was the closest we've got. Twitch, it's more related to gaming content, I would say. It's definitely got some like other stuff to it, but I watch it quite a bit via Rocket League mostly. Have I considered it? Thoughts crossed my mind before. If I did, it would probably be like Rocket League content myself, but
I wouldn't be invited. I pop my head in there once in a while. You see this head like coming around the screen. Dad.
I mean, we could do live streams through it, but it's just as simple to do it through YouTube, I imagine. If we're gonna do like just talking to people.
Yeah.
But if I was top percentile Rocket League, maybe. But I don't think I would be that invested in it at this time. Myself. Last question is directed towards me.
Okay.
What is my favorite thing to do with my dad besides make YouTube videos? Favorite thing to do with Dad? I like showing him animes. that's what I've been doing recently. Seeing what he thinks of stuff. Like introducing him to new music. I do that all the time.
He's got me into a lot of stuff. Him and I's taste is similar. Pretty similar. There's very, it's not very often he lets me hear something that I do not like it. So we're similar. We got similar taste in music. So.
Because I know what you like mostly. So
Right.
I'm like, if I'm gonna show you a song, it's probably because I know you're probably gonna like
There
it.
you go.
Nice Mario Party, watching movies and shows and stuff. All that kind of stuff. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that wraps up Nathan Cooper's
Wraps
questions.
up Nathan.
We got Cal Ayusta. Here's some questions. What was your favorite Lavina sausages that you've tried on the channel?
I'm going to say probably I can't remember if it was Libby's, but there was a jalapeno one that was really good. There hasn't been that many flavors. There's a barbecue one that was pretty good, like smoky barbecue. But probably the jalapeno was just a good, unique, different flavor for me. So we'll say that, the jalapeno.
Who are yours and Jeremy's favorite superheroes?
Hmm.
I'm a big Marvel fan. And first one comes to mind is Deadpool. Even before the Ryan Reynolds movie came out, I was a fan of Deadpool from games I played with him in and comic related stuff. He's a super funny character. Besides him, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, even before the movies, I was a big fan of that character. That's probably my go-tos.
Well, I'm more old school, like in the way of like Superman, Batman, those kind of superheroes. I'm going to say probably Superman.
Solid choice.
Yeah, Is that all?
Is that a solid choice?
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with Superman. I can't think of any others like that are.
You're into like the Smallville and stuff too.
Yeah, I was big into Smallville when it was on. Watching him grow up and become Superman in that way was fun, entertaining. I'm familiar with all the old Christopher Reeves Supermans.
Have you ever tried any Danish food?
Any Danish food? No. Danish rolls. Those, I don't know if those are actually considered a Danish pastry or not. But had those. But I kind of looked up what was considered Danish foods, and I can't really say that I've ever tried any of that stuff before. But I would love to try it.
Let's see. Have either of you ever played soccer when you were children?
I did. Yeah, I did when I was in elementary school. Did I know much about what I was doing? Not really.
Most don't. So I just kick on the ball.
Yeah, I was good. I mean, I was good at it. I was both. You know, they had me be a goalie. I did a pretty good job at that. I was fast. I was always a fast runner when I was a kid, so I could get it down there to the other side of the field pretty quickly. But
I was on 2 teams.
Yeah. That's right.
Was that any good? I don't think so. I think I was alright. But it was fun.
I think, wasn't there like a girl one time on
Mm-hmm.
one of the teams or something like that? She kicked you in the shin,
Yeah, on the other
took
team.
him out, man. The coach said, "Take out Jeremy."
For real.
So she kicked him in the shin.
Destroyed the machines. Couldn't even walk anymore for like a week.
Yeah, dang. But yeah, he was in soccer when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big thing. But that's about really all the further it went from for either one of us, elementary type.
Mm-hmm. And became a band nerd after that.
Band nerd after that.
Mm-hmm. Jared, do your fellow workers ever interrupt you when you're recording?
If anybody does, it'd be the carpenter, because him and I are the only ones that have keys to the shop where my office is. So he might come in, but he's pretty respectful about it. And when he comes in, I'm going to be on lunchtime. So he'll come in, he'll wait right where he's at when he sees I'm recording or doing my review. But that's really about it.
Alright, that wraps up Caliusta's questions.
Okay.
Next we got that gamer Drew.
Now that gamer Drew is the one that instigated this Q&A video, just to let y'all know. We probably would have done it eventually here soon anyway, because it's been a while since we've done a Q&A video, but he brought it up. Could we do one? So this is all because of that gamer Drew that we're doing this now. So
Alright, he's got a couple questions for us. One of them,
okay.
have either of you ever watched MMA?
MMA?
And if so, what do we think of it? I just recently, I've watched, not like a live or anything, but I've watched some Conor McGregor. I don't know if you've seen any of him, but the guy's insane. It's pretty entertaining to watch. It's kind of interesting to kind of see some like highlight clips of that kind of stuff, but never really been super into following it besides like the mainstream stuff.
I would probably be more into it. I'm not really. I like all kinds of martial arts. Kickboxing was one of the main things that I grew up watching more of. But boxing, just regular boxing before that, I'd watch that with my dad. But kickboxing, when I first discovered that, I enjoyed it. I mean, there was a lot of actors and actresses that were actors and actual kickboxer, into that sport. But the MMA now, the only really I've heard of Conor McGregor, and I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube a little bit, and yeah, he's good, interesting fighter. I've watched some matches on there a little bit, just kind of seeing different clips on YouTube. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool, pretty interesting, what all they're able to do. There's both male and female fighters that are really impressive to watch. But yeah, that's really all that I can say about that. I don't have any particular fighters that I can mention that I'm really into, but
Second part of his question is their top 3 favorite foods. I'll go ahead. Number 1 is anything seafood, which I've already touched on, but like shrimp, catfish, crab, lobster. Let's lot that up there. I like Mexican food, enchiladas, burritos, that kind of stuff. And a third one would probably be Chinese food.
oh man.
Love Chinese food, sesame chicken, fried rice, teriyaki chicken, that kind of stuff. That'd probably be my top 3.
Mine's sort of similar to his. I like burgers, bacon cheeseburgers. I like Mexican food. I like Chinese food, like Jeremy mentioned, both of those too. Those types of foods. Italian type foods are good. Different, what was it called? Alfredo? Fettuccine Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo. Chicken parms.
Yeah, that type of stuff. So, what do you say, favorite three?
Mm-hmm.
I think we pretty much touched on all those. And the same with the ones he mentioned, the burritos and all that.
And then enchiladas and Mexican stuff.
Right, and the Chinese food, teriyaki chickens, and sesame chicken. So that, yeah.
Alright, that wraps up Gamer Drew.
Okay.
Next we got Rob.
Oh, just Rob. Okay.
Rob. Question for Jerry. What's your favorite memory with Wayne growing up?
My favorite memory of Wayne growing up. Wayne and I spent a lot of time together. We're closer to the age between us brothers. I stayed with him a lot when my folks had to work. So we were by ourselves. We had to, bring up different kinds of games and stuff to figure out what to do, what to play. He was ornery to me. He'd punch me in the arm. Give me snuggies, wedgies. He's really ornery to me in that way. So I had to get back at him sometimes, So one time, memory of us was I took a little steel ball. I put it in his cereal. He made his cereal. He walked away from it. I put a steely in there, and then I went and hid behind the couch because I was scared. Because after he bit into that, he was going to come after me, So I heard him like, and he, Jerry! And I was like, he found me, pulled the couch out, grabbed me, ripped my underguts, my underwear, gave me a big old snuggie. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite memories of that. But him and I, we got along really well, and we did all kinds of stuff growing up. So.
And also, how did you meet your wife?
How did I meet my wife? Well, she was a blind date. I'd only seen a picture of her. I was working at a Village Inn restaurant, and my friend worked at Village Inn also, and he got a picture from his girlfriend of my wife, and he gave it to me. And here's what he says. He says, "This girl likes you." And I was like, I've never even seen her before, So I had this picture of her in my pocket while I was bussing tables at Village Inn. And I'd take it out occasionally and look at it and like, she's really cute, he says, he asked me, about going out on a date with her and to let him know, and he'd tell his girlfriend, and we'd set something up, and so we did, and it was a blind date. We met there at the Village Inn when I was off one night, and we went out, and we hit it off.
All right, and questions for me.
This is still Rob?
Yes, still Rob. Questions for Jeremy. We got favorite video game genre. I have a lot of those. Like RPGs, role-playing games. It's got a vast variety of different games like Skyrim, Fallout, and stuff like that. I'm not sure what genre Rocket League falls into, to be honest. It's kind of its own unique thing. But that's kind of what draws me into it. I've also been into the Pokemon games since I was young. Several years. So stuff like that would probably be the main ones. I grew up on first person shooters stuff too. First games being like Call of Duty and stuff like that. I had a period of time where I was into those pretty heavily. But I'd probably say the role playing games, single player role playing games would be up there for sure. And which video games am I currently playing? Rocket League mainly. That'll always be a constant that I play. So I'm playing. I recently went back and I'm playing one of the older Pokemon games right now. And just whatever my group's playing, I'll be playing with them.